Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's look is a Valentine's look with 3 different lip options. This video was a request by, I believe it was Marie. She left a comment in one of my recent videos in the comment section and requested that I do this tutorial. When I was planning this look, I knew I wanted to work with pinks. Initially, I was thinking I would do this bold lip with kind of some like neutral bronze eyes, which is probably how I would normally wear this lip color. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna kind of challenge myself because I want to show you guys looks that are outside of the typical bronze neutral shades. So I grabbed the Kat Von D Quad Palette, the Shade and Light Quad Palette in Plum, and that's what we used for this tutorial. I didn't use any other eyeshadows except for this, so that's kind of nice little fun challenge. I grabbed this lip color, and after I put the eye makeup on, I thought that this lip color would be too overpowering for this look. So if this look is not your style, I did include 2 other lip options that are a little bit more natural, a little bit more subdued, not so much attention calling to your lips. So stick around for that. Those options will be at the end of this video. So before we get started, I want to mention that if you are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also that bell notification. That will notify you every time I upload a new video so you don't miss my videos. I upload about 2 to 3 times per week. Feel free to leave me your comments, your requests, your suggestions, your helpful feedback in the comment section below, and I try my best to answer every single comment. So I love communicating with you guys that way. So, and lastly, last plug, if you're not following me on Instagram or Facebook, check me out. I'm at Lisa J Makeup on both platforms, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's get started. I do obviously have my foundation, concealer, bronzer, blush all on. I actually filmed a video just right now on this routine, so that video will probably be up right after this video if you're curious to see what I used. I will leave everything linked down below like I always do though. So for the eyes, I'm gonna start with the Revlon Color Stay Eyeshadow Primer. You guys have been seeing me use this a lot lately. I really like it. It's kind of my go-to eyeshadow primer at the moment. And I just take about that much and I just put it between my 2 fingers, rub it in pretty good. I don't want to apply too much of it. I got some in my brow. I like to use my fingers to apply my eyeshadow primer just because my fingers really work it in, and I don't know, I just like my fingers. Sometimes our fingers are the best tools. I just got my lashes filled last week. I usually go 2 weeks between fills. I usually go 2 weeks between fills. But I went 1 week this time because my stylist is going to be out of town next week, which was when I would normally get it done. Rather than go 3 weeks, I just went 1 week and I just have extra full lashes. Whoever complained about having too much lashes, right? Not me. All right, so now for the eyeshadow, I'm going to be working with this Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D. This quad palette, it has 4 shadows in it. It's a nice little compact size. This is the shade Plum. You can see that they're all cool tone purples. I have had this for a while. I bought this when it first launched. I hope that these are still available. Quite honestly, I don't even know if they're still available. But you can see the shadows are pretty basic, matte, mauve, plum, purple shades, so that's what we're going to be working with. Okay, so first I'm going to use the lightest shade right here and a big fluffy shadow brush, and I'm just going to go in and load it up, and I'm going to go underneath my brow and all over my eyelid from lashes to brow to set that primer. These shadows are really great quality. I haven't used this palette in a while, probably close to when I purchased it, but they are such great quality. Okay, so I've just set the primer. Next, I'm going to go in and do my transition shade, and I'm going to use this shade right here. It's this really, I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's a really beautiful, soft pink. It's very, very light, a lot lighter than I normally use for transition shades. Actually, it goes on a little bit darker than I would think it would. It's nice. And I'm just going back and forth in little windshield wiper movements. These shadows are really dusty. Do you see all of this little fallout that I'm getting when I dip my brush in? And I'm using a really soft brush. But surprisingly, I don't get a lot of fallout on my face. However, to be fair, I've got these giant lash extensions that catch a lot of it. So if I didn't have those, maybe I would have more. All right. Okay, so I've gone a little bit darker on this side. Let's go in and even that out. All right. This is a pretty color. This goes on quite a bit darker than you would think. I actually think it's kind of buildable. So initially it's pretty sheer, and then you go back and you can build it and get a lot more color. Also, depending on the brush that you use. So this is a pretty soft, fluffy brush. If I were to use a more dense brush to, like, say, pack it on the eyelid, I think it would be even darker. Okay. Okay, next I'm gonna take this plum shade here. I'm using a 213 brush by MAC, and I'm just gonna load the tip of the brush up. I am gonna tap it off because it's a darker shade and I don't wanna have any that falls on my skin and messes up my foundation. I'm basically gonna kind of carve out right here in my crease with the tip of this brush, and then I'm gonna pull it down to my lashes. So again, I'm kind of creating that little V shape that I talk a lot about. Okay, and you don't have to worry about it being perfect because I'm gonna go back in with the brush that I used for my crease color, and I'm just gonna place the brush and then go in little bitty circles. I'm basically staying directly on top of where I applied it, and then I'm just moving my hand in little circles. You can see that I'm holding the brush pretty far back. The further back that you hold the brush, the more movement that you're gonna have and the easier it's going to be to blend product out. If you're really tight and choking the brush at the tip, it's gonna be hard to get that same level of movement, and it's just gonna be harder to blend out product. So I always like to hold my brush at the very tip. I find that it just helps me blend everything a little bit easier, and it gives me a softer, prettier look. Then I'm gonna go and do the other side. Okay, now I'm gonna look at the two eyes and see where I need to even things out. This eye is a lot more open than this eye, and I notice as I get older, this eye, the difference between the two eyes become very more apparent to me. So when I do my eye makeup, I really have to make sure that I am taking this shadow up on this eye high enough to where it kind of lifts the eye a little bit. If I don't, then it just brings more attention to the fact that this eye is smaller. I'm just gonna go up a little bit higher, just blend it out. These shadows have a lot of pigment, so my advice would be to start with a little bit and just build up, because it's always easier to build and add more color than it is to go and fix an area that you've applied too much, especially when you're working with darker shades or purple or blues. Perfect. Okay, so now we have this. Then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna add that color that I used in my crease. I'm gonna use the 213 brush, and I'm just gonna kind of wipe it off so I get that dark purple out. And I'm gonna load it up with the shadow that we used in my crease. This looks more pink than I expected it to, so I wanna apply it on my eyelid just to add a little bit more pink to the lid. It's pretty. These are such great matte shadows. Sometimes mattes can be trickier to work with than like shimmer shadows. Sometimes they look really dusty or the color doesn't deposit quite like a shimmer shadow does, but these are really great. Okay. Okay, I've left the very inner corner bare. Then I'm gonna go in with the lightest shade, the one that we used to set the eyeshadow primer, and I'm gonna put a teeny tiny bit on the tip of the brush and just go right in the inner corner. And just kind of softly blend it into that pinkier shade. All right, and then I'm also gonna use the same brush and go underneath the brow with it, just to make that brow highlight stand out a little bit more. Next, I'm gonna line my top lashes with the DHC Liquid Eyeliner pen. This I got in a DRUGSTORE Beauty Fix box maybe a couple months ago. It's very intense black. I like the way it goes on. I did have some trouble the first times I used it with it transferring on my eyelid, but I also didn't have shadow on and my eyelids kind of warmed up with like my natural oil. So I'm wondering if that was the reason that it transferred. We'll see. Oh yeah, I can see all of that fallout in my lashes now. Do you see that? So just be careful with these eyeshadows. Make sure that you tap your brush after you pick up the product so that you don't have a ton of fallout. Okay, and I'm just gonna create, I do like this pen because it's really rich and very black, and the point is really thin and skinny, so it is pretty easy to work with. Okay, now you've got this. I like this. I don't usually wear color on my eyes. You guys are used to seeing me in neutrals and browns, bronzy shades, but I really, really like this. I think it's a fun way to wear color without looking crazy. So next I'm gonna line the inner rim of my eye, and I'm using the Maybelline Lasting Drama Waterproof Gel Pencil. This shade is just the nude shade. I'll have it linked down below. So I'm just gonna go in and line the inner rim. This is a nice pencil because it's pretty bright, but it's not too bright. Sometimes if you go too bright with these, it looks very strange and very distracting. You want it to brighten up the inside of the eye, but you don't want it to look like stark white, you know? Okay. For my lower lash line, I'm gonna keep it pretty soft. Rather than use a pencil and then a shadow on top, I'm just gonna go in with a shadow. I'm gonna use the purple shade that we used in the crease. I'm using a nice small angled brush. This one's by MAC. It's the 208 brush. Any small angled brush that you have will work well though. And I'm just gonna go in and line the lower lash line. These shadows are so pigmented. Beautiful. Okay, so I've got a little bit of fallout there. So be careful when you're doing this. Make sure you have a brush with a little bit of loose, lightweight, translucent powder that you can just dust off any fallout that you have. I'm gonna pop a little bit of Chanel LeVolume mascara on my lower lashes. So for blush, I'm gonna keep it very soft, very subtle. I feel like the eyes are the focal point for this look, so I really don't wanna compete with the cheeks. I don't wanna have too much going on in too many places. So I'm using the Milani Luminoso blush. This is one of my favorite blushes. This gets a lot of love on YouTube. It's very subtle and it has a really nice light highlight to it. So I'm just gonna pop this right on the apples of my cheek. So I did grab a pretty bold lip for this look, but now that I've got the eye makeup on, I feel like the eyes should be the focal point, so I'm gonna kind of tone it down and use a lighter lip. Actually, let me do two lip options for you. Let me do the lighter lip first, which is something that I would probably wear, and then let me do a bolder lip, which is a beautiful color, and I would wear this lip color. I don't know that I would pair it with this eye personally, but if you love it, by all means, rock it. So I'm gonna show you two different lip options. So for the first softer lip, I'm gonna line my lips with Soar Lip Pencil by MAC. When I line my lips, I like to keep my lips closed so that I have a natural representation of my lip line and the shape of my lips. If I do this or I keep my lips open, it just tweaks it and I'm not really gonna see how the liner is gonna look when my lips are rested. So I like to keep the lips closed and rested. For a lipstick, I'm using Sugar Cane by Bite Beauty. This is one of my favorite lipsticks if you're looking for a very soft, light pink. It's more of a cream matte finish. It stays on the lips really well, but it's very comfortable. So it's not super hydrating and glossy, but it's not really dry and matte. It's kind of right there in between, which is kind of the sweet spot that I look for in a lipstick. And I feel like I kind of need to blend that lip liner in a little bit. I feel like you can still really see that lip liner, which I'm not really a fan of. So you can either use your finger, or you can also take the lip pencil and just fill in your lip a little bit more to blend those two together. Okay, and there you have it. This is the complete look for lip option 1. This is kind of the level that I personally would do. This is well within my comfort zone, but still a little fun and plays with some color. I usually don't wear color on my eyes, but I think this looks really nice and very wearable. Definitely not distracting or overpowering or like it's too much. Let me go ahead and clean this lip off and show you lip number 2. So for lip number 2, we're gonna work with a very bold lip gloss color. This one is by Anastasia Beverly Hills and the shade is Rio. This is a small size, so this tells me I got this in some type of beauty box or some type of gift set. I did not purchase the full size of this. This is a fun color. It's not a color I wear too often. In fact, this might actually be the first time that I've worn this color. Because that gloss is such a bold color, I want to make sure that there's something on my lips that's going to contain that color. If I just put the gloss all on my lips like I normally would do with a lighter lip gloss, I really run the risk of that color feathering off or kind of getting outside the line. So I want to put something that's going to keep everything where I want it to be. So I'm going to just fill in my lips and line my lips with this Buxom full-on lipstick. It's like a lip crayon. This is the color Las Vegas, and it's a really pretty, kind of like a bubblegum pink. So I'm gonna just put this all over my lips. I like the shape of this too because you can use this as a lip liner as well. And I love the way this smells. It smells like peppermint. Quite honestly, I really love this lip color by itself. So I just decided let's make this a 3 lip option look, with this being lip option number 2. For lip option number 3, I'm just gonna add that bold Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss on top of it and see what we get. So here we go. Look at that. Ooh. So I just applied a little bit and then I worked with the tip of the brush to blend that product out. This product is really thick and very, very bold. So I didn't really need a lot. I just used a little bit and worked with that to blend it out. I like this. This is fun and pretty and bold. I really like this color a lot. This is a color that I would wear. I probably would do a little bit more of a subtle eye with this lipstick. Maybe I would take out the darker shade that I used in the crease, or maybe I would just keep the eye look a simple, clean black line. But I like this color. I think it's fun. I think it makes your teeth bright and white. I think it's really fun and attention grabbing and just kind of something fun to do on a special occasion like Valentine's Day. And that completes this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you have some fun, exciting plans for Valentine's Day, whether you're going out with your significant other or just hanging out with some girlfriends. I hope you have some fun plans. Leave all your questions and comments for me down below. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I would love to have you back for my future videos. As always, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. Bye.